Hello, happy to be with you again this morning. This is live with Christine, and I have the pleasure today to have André Delafontaine with me. So welcome, André. Really nice to be with you. I met André few months ago. And I had the pleasure to participate in, discovering my genius. And so we thought that it would be really a great opportunity to share more about this together this morning. So for those who are joining online, so, this is live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter. Don't hesitate to share your comments. I will be very happy to share that directly on the screen, and so I will integrate that in the interview today. So the idea is to get to know André and what André is proposing, how André can help you to move forward, in your career, in your life, and as you know, for those who are online, the leaders and the coaches, this is something very important for all of us. It's to help to clarify. Okay, so I will briefly introduce André. André is the expert in regaining energy and meaning at work with identifying your genius. So he's the CEO of Genius Life Academy and of Accelerate Partners. So really happy to have you, André. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christine. Wonderful introduction. I love it.
Okay, so we would like to get to know you. So my first question to you this morning is, what led you to this activity of identifying your genius?
Yeah, I spent 17 years in multinationals, Switzerland, US, Asia. It was a great time, but after a while, I felt disconnected from that world and what I could bring to it and what it was bringing to me. So I co-founded a startup. Very interesting times. After 5.5 years of that world, I actually became independent consultant and helping large organizations implement a entrepreneurial mindset. But after 3 years of that life, actually, I burnt out. I actually ended up in hospital, spent weeks in hospital, clinical burnout. And I was really trying to understand, this is my dream life. I really like what I'm doing here. But yet I end up in hospital, and it had huge consequences for, of course, my mental, physical well-being, my personal connections, my work. I was an independent. So it really helped me, or forced me, in my case, to stop and think, what's going on here? How come I spent so much time, so much energy creating this dream life, and yet I still end up in hospital? And I started measuring hour per hour, day per day, week after week, the tasks I was doing and the energy they were either giving me or draining from me. And I realized actually I was spending way too much time in tasks that I was very good at. I was very appreciated for. I was actually better than people around me, but that were still draining my energy. And I started studying this. I started getting feedback from people around me. I started talking to people around me about this, and whoa. It had resonated extremely, extremely strongly with people around me. That I'm in training, right, and coaching, and I had about 30 subjects over the last 10 years I've introduced in various environments. And there has never been a subject that resonated so strongly with any of the audiences than this one. So it really got me thinking, how can I help other people avoid this bore out, wear out, or burnout, which is actually the sole consequence of spending way too much time in these zones that drain energy rather than creating energy within us. And that was the first steps behind understanding genius zones, bringing that to individuals, bringing that to corporations, bringing that to HR environments, and of course to training environments as well.
Yeah, I really thank you for sharing, the story here, and I really like how you highlight how important energy is, right? We exchange energy all the time with the environment. So we start the day with an idea in mind, and then, things happen, right? So through interactions and being conscious that it's all about energy and making conscious decision about how you want to share this energy, how you want to receive and give energy is such an important topic. So thank you so much for sharing that. So and could you highlight for all of us the link you make between energy and genius?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, we all have 4 levels of competency. So maybe to give a little bit of framework here, it's not about being a genius. Everybody I've ever met have genius zones, right? We've had 120 participants in our workshop so far. Every single participant has identified, distilled, and been able to pinpoint their own genius zones. So it's about tasks that give us energy, where time becomes fluid, where, at the end of the day, it seems so easy to us, we don't even think we should deserve to get paid for this, because it was actually lots of fun. So I say this openly, I'm actually paid. Now that I've understood this, I'm actually paid to be on vacation.
Yeah, you're on vacation right now.
Exactly, I am. Actually, you'll see, as we go on, the energy will go up. It's a little bit early for me. The energy will go up, and at the end, when I'm in my genius zones, at the end of a day where I spent my time in my genius zones, actually, I need to find ways to slow down, to calm down. Otherwise, I can't go to sleep. Even if I start the day tired, that's a sign, right? And so we all have 4 levels of competencies. One is level of incompetence. People around me can do those things better for certain tasks. The next one is level of competence. People can do things as good as me. But in a disrupted work environment, which, by the way, is getting more and more disrupted by the week, right? If I'm just as good as people around me in certain tasks, I won't get hired. Good jobs receive 100, 200, 300 CVs, good job openings. If I'm just as good as other people, statistically speaking, I'll never be able to get that job. Then there's the level of excellence, right? So incompetence, competence, and excellence. Level of excellence, I'm better than people around me. And therefore, I tend to attract those tasks. And since the day we start school, the day we go in, corporate, we always push towards this level of excellence. And my levels of excellence around organization, my whole career, I did people, project, product, problem management, and became COO of a company. So clearly I was recognized for this. And to this day, I get tons of requests. Could you please manage this? Could you project manage that? Could you become a CEO of this? No, I'm not interested. Because I know I'm better than other people. I know I do it very well, but it drains my energy. I have to be very careful to actually limit the time I spend in that, because otherwise, at the end of the day, I just will be completely exhausted. Then there's one level above that unluckily I've not heard about, that unluckily I was not taught in school. Unluckily, this was never mentioned to me in corporate environment, which is the level of genius. Here, I have the impression it's so easy, I don't even think it's a job. That's the problem. Because it's so easy for me, I think that everybody else can do it. Like talking, walking, and unless you have a gross handicap, well, it's not a problem. And for me, training, facilitation, coaching, transferring knowledge both ways, teaching or learning, for me, they're indissociable, right? I love to learn. All of those, my genius zones, I had no idea that they were genius zones to me. It's only when I became independent that I was constantly getting hired for that. Although I had literally eight other aspects, tasks, things I was really, really good at, I actually did not get hired for those as much as what I got hired for these genius zones. So it got me thinking, how come I didn't know I was good at this? I thought everybody could do it. And that's the problem. Because it's so easy for me, I thought that everybody else could do it. But actually, looking back, seeing some of my colleagues in corporate, and I can confirm that it wasn't easy for everybody. So it's different. The big difficulty is differentiating zones of excellence and zones of genius, because they look very similar from the outside. I'm better than others at these tasks, but one will drain my energy to the point where I ended up in hospital. The other one will give me so much energy, I need to find ways to slow down.
That's really a very simple and clear way to differentiate the two. And, if you want, maybe, André, I can propose that, if people want to see the drawing of what you just described, different levels of, energy and linked to the zone of excellence, they can look at the geniuslife.me.
So,
Where they will get, more information about what you describe. So, and how to avoid this wear out, bore out, burnout. These are extreme situations where you are not in your zone of excellence, as you just described. So, and I felt very interested by when I participated, when I was talking with you, when I participated in workshops to get a deeper understanding about this aspect of not being aware of it, right? Because it's so easy. So for me, for example, because I know the audience also like a lot of concrete stories. For me, I was trained as a scientist, and I got people telling me, you could be a great entrepreneur, you could be a great speaker, you are really talented for interviewing, this type of things. But I was like, what are they talking about? I had a scientific background, so for me, I was not even aware at that time. People can see things. It's easy. They are external to you. They observe your talent, and sometimes we are not even aware. So it took me a while to accept and to go there, right? So I was, supported by people to go there. But so I'm really in a different place now. I was a very good scientist. No, I even have awards and a lot of success in that. And this was not my zone of genius, of excellence, where I was getting the energy that I have now doing that naturally. Okay, so this is something very important to be fulfilled and to have more impact and in your life. So this is a key message,
Exactly. I'd like to build upon your example, which is really wonderful. Genius zones are often on the fringe of what we've done in our corporate lives, right? So what I know I know how you work, and you bring a lot of this structure of the scientific environment that's really useful. But you use it as, let's say, a basis of what you do today, but actually the real value you bring, your differentiator, is on top of that. And that's what allows you to go beyond your level of excellence, which probably in corporate you were not, you weren't aware or made aware or pushed to go beyond that. So here, building upon that, and in the new world of work, we will need to be able to recreate full careers, jobs that disappearing. White collar are not at all protected from job disruption anymore. It used to be blue collars only. If anything, these people, that happened to them 20 years ago, so they have some time to understand that the world has changed. White collars have not. I see these people all the time, and they believe, accountants in 2020 was the most fired profession in Switzerland. For 4,000 years, accountants were extremely respected. Pharaonic times, accountants were extremely respected. And now they're being completely disrupted by what's called artificial intelligence. I call it assisted intelligence because it's nowhere near artificial intelligence. But all these white-collar jobs are being completely disrupted. We'll need to reinvent ourselves. And using the notion of genius zones, I think, is wonderful. Your example is incredible because you didn't have to redo a full master or a PhD to be able to become effective. You're able to connect to those, and within months, maybe a year, you can bring these to market. You can make a real difference. If anything, maybe a bigger difference than what you're doing in corporate towards your environment, okay? And you can monetize those on the market. It's a huge differentiating factor. It's a uniqueness that we all have, but knowing it makes the difference. I had a participant in one of my latest workshops, very high-level manager, and he told us, before I would have good days, bad days. I would wake up in the morning, I would hope it would be a good day, but it was really random. Now I've understood the time I spend in my genius zones and what they are. I see direct correlation between how I feel in the evening and the time I've spent in my genius zones. And for us to be able to build resilience and, just to withstand the changes that are going on in the work environment right now, it's really a requirement to understand that and position ourselves in unique ways. Also for interviews, by the way. I've seen myself, I've seen candidates, when they speak about their genius zones, they're like, whoa, everybody in the room, like, I'm ready to hire you. I'm ready to hire you. This is a big differentiator. And yesterday, actually, I received a job description where one of my ex-participants hired somebody, and she said, explain to me how these are your genius zones, not proven competency in X. Proven competence in X is a commodity. Okay, that's not a differentiator. So displaying genius zones towards the interviewee will highly lighten up the room and increase the chance of being hired in this, which is going to become more and more required.
So what you share, André, is really full of I think very important elements in the change we are experimenting currently. We say that we are in the fourth, revolution in terms of, using new technologies, new ways of working, accelerated by, the COVID circumstances. Pushing a lot of people of reflecting on what they want, what motivates them, their values, how they want to spend their time and energy. So you are coming here, you are here at at a key moment to support people to change in helping them to reflect, and also helping the recruiters. I mean, I'm extracting that from what you said, right? So let me know if that's... But, really helping the recruiters to also revisit in these specific times how to recruit, how to attract, people in the company, and what type of question they could ask to really get to understand what's unique about this person. I had in my career the chance, to be revealed, let's say, by someone who had naturally the skills, to identify. Reading a CV at the time, we didn't have, all what we have now, the social media and, all of that. But, only reading the CV was able to say, there is a talent there. Maybe unconsidered talent. Coaching, we talk about unconsidered needs, what we are not aware of. So unconsidered talent, and proposing me to really focus on that and designing a role really for me, and which was useful for the organization. So I had the chance to be revealed by this person. If you want to also, take the lead, that's a message maybe as a coach, and building on what we say, it's really important to reflect about what's unique about me.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you very much, Marlène, for your appreciation this morning. We are happy to be all together this morning and share with you. It's like, having a cup of coffee and then having a nice talk together. And yes, I had one just before. Yeah, actually, it gives me a lot of energy, to start the day with all of you. And then, maybe, you get inspired by, the discussion and to facilitate your day. So, André, let's get also a little bit practical here. So, we have additional appreciation here. So I'm sure.
Hi, Timo.
Yeah, fun,
Wonderful.
Actually, this is something else I have revealed for myself recently. I have a lot of fun in myself. So I like to help people. When they are really in, let's say, in trouble or having problems. Not only that, because the message as coach, don't wait to be in trouble to call the coach. But it happens that yes, people have problems. I mean, we all have so-called problems. Okay, the fun. Taking a distance is very useful. So you propose a way to take a distance also, André. Okay, so we have an anonymous appreciation. We like it as well.
Big hug, whoever you are. We love you. It's wonderful.
So it's good to start with some laugh and fun, So,
yeah, it's wonderful. You guys make my day. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. So yes, I I was thinking maybe, André, if you want to share a little bit of some practical aspects about, if people are interested by your services, what you propose, how can we better understand what's happening? Okay. Thank you, Jeremy. This is nice. I didn't want to push you to your name, but I really appreciate as well. Thank you so much. So can you tell us more about concretely how do you get to this understanding of your genius?
So indeed. So the first point is differentiating. There's basically three barriers, right, that stop us from spending time in our genius zones. The first is that we do not understand often the difference between zones of excellence that drain our energy and zones of genius where it's so easy for us that we think it's natural for everybody. So we need to source those genius zones, and sourcing them, actually, I've tried literally 9 different methods across tens and tens of people. In the end, it's other people that can tell us what our genius zones are. And your example, Christine, was wonderful. This person within your corporate environment was actually super forward thinking. That's actually very rare, unluckily. I was able to see that in you, and was able to bring you to a closer to those genius zones, maybe without you fully understanding the depth of the consequences of that. But so we need to ask people around us. And I highly, highly recommend that you ask 20 different people at least around you. About 1/3 current colleagues, because they'll know you, they'll be in touch with you on a regular basis. About 1/3 past colleagues you don't have close contact within the last 2 years. When I say colleagues, actually, I should say work environment. So it could be clients, could be suppliers, could be peers, could be taken from a 360-degree, review, etc. But for ourselves, it's really close to impossible to know that, because the most important things seem completely natural for us. We don't think it's a differentiator. So that's the first barrier. Then the second barrier, once we have those, is thanks, Marlene. Exactly. Ikigai is actually a similar concept, but then the question is, what do we do with that? And that's maybe where we differentiate ourselves with the workshops that we do. So once we've understood what those genius zones are, and we've filtered out the zones of excellence, because from the outside they look similar. So only other people can source them for us, but only we can differentiate zones of excellence from zones of genius. So actually require both to be able to work in an effective way. Then, of course, we need to start measuring the time that we spend in them. And here I have some pretty brutal news. On average, it's 20%, 15 to 20% of our time that we spend in our genius zones. It's interesting, no company would survive for more than a couple of months with such an inefficient utilization of any other resource. Try paying your employees 6 times more. Try, working 1/6 of the day. Try renting 6 times more space than what you need. Try using only 1/6 of your machines. I wish you lots of luck.
Yeah, that's something really interesting. So from your perspective and experience now doing that for a while, so what is the reason why people spend more time, not much time in this zone of excellence?
Yeah, that's the second and third barrier. So the second barrier is that it's actually way too much fun to be in our genius zones. Therefore, we don't think we deserve to get paid. We don't realize actually we're so much better than other people. We think it's just another task, so we don't concentrate more time in that. Or we don't think that we deserve to get paid. And I see this, unluckily, guys, I have really important news. That the higher people are in the organization, the less time they allow themselves to even think about genius zones, yet alone apply them, because we spent our whole careers trying to attain these nice positions. Hundreds, thousands of people want our jobs, and we're so well paid, we're not going to start complaining it's not that much fun. So it has a trickle-down effect across the whole organization when the day people start, if one day I want to have that job, it's going to be a long, suffering route. And the second I think that, I will attract and create situations that will indeed make that happen. If I were to get something that's too easy and well paid, well, no, I'm not suffering, therefore I won't get to this nice position long term. So that's this misunderstanding. We work a lot on undoing those beliefs and creating a 100-day plan to be able to attain our genius zones, maximize those time in them. So that's actually part of the second barrier.
And what I observe as a coach is that many people have a belief that to deserve success, you need to work hard. It has to be painful. And I see that almost systematically. And I believe I still have some of this belief in myself. So it's probably linked to, the way we are raised or trained at a certain point. And really, as coaches, we work on, if people are interested to do that, reveal the belief and then decide by themselves what they want to do with this belief. Because this could be a barrier, actually, to access your genius zone.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. You described it so well, Christina. I can feel your background. I can feel the hours you spent. So we really need to undo those beliefs, and we will see on the second that we do really believe that we, deserve that we deserve a much easier life. That life has infinite possibilities. We can connect to them. And by the way, we can make money. I get well paid and I'm having lots of fun. It's not about living a life of a destitute, right? On the opposite, if anything, I like to say this. When I was 40, I had a lot of trouble trying to find a new job. I turned 51 last year. It's much easier for me to find work at 51 than what it was at 40. Because I've changed these beliefs and I can attract situations on a regular basis. Of course, I'm very lucky. I get fired every month.
People will, as you said, André, it's very important if you are really connected to who you are naturally.
Yes.
And naturally motivated by those activities. People will buy because they want impact, they want value from what you do. They like to feel the energy. We are back to this energy. So they will buy. Yeah.
Exactly. They will subscribe, whether we're independent selling mandates or on short-term contracts, long-term contracts, or indefinite contracts. It will make a really big difference. That I've seen myself. I was interviewed a month ago by the global head of talent development for multinational, 30,000 people. And at one point she asked me, you have an engineering background, you did all this management, why are you in coaching facilitation? I explained to her the notion of the genius zones and how I was constantly getting this feedback. She's like, whoa, the energy that I see in you, I'm hiring you. This is unbelievable. Okay, so that's just a concrete example. And I hear this from candidates when they talk about their genius zones. I had candidates a week ago talking about when they were being interviewed they had 3 interviews. 2 of them, they clearly talked about tasks in their genius zones. They left the interview like, whoa, this is really interesting. I love it. I want to do more of these interviews. And one, like they were talking about clearly not their genius zones, let's say, and boom, they could feel their own energy. And guess which interview I would be hired in. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Excellent. So if we are interested to to know more about the techniques and how you could support this how to reveal the genius, how does that work?
Yeah, so probably the easiest way is to have a look at the website, so geniuslife.me. We just launched a new one, and it's not necessarily yet referenced in Google, but if you put geniuslife.me and the address, http geniuslife.me, you'll find the website. And there we explain very clearly the methodology, what are the outcomes, and there's a video where I explain these 4 levels of competency pretty clearly. You can book a 15-minute with me to exchange on this. You can book directly time in my calendar, and for 15-minute exchange, you decide when. You decide on the platform, video conferencing platform, and I'll be more than happy. Again, this both the individuals, but also for teams. Where I see actually the most impact is when we implement this within a team, where we do the catalog of genius zones of the team. We do the catalog of what the team has to collectively deliver, and then we can actually barter tasks between us. Because if I barter a zone of excellence against one of your zones of genius, okay, you win, I win, and with one small change, boom, we immediately very quickly increase the time we're spending in our genius zones. The advantage of being only 20% of time in our genius zones is that even if it's one more day per week, we're already doubling, or
So
even nearly tripling.
a very interesting topic as well is to how to apply this to a team and
Exactly.
to reveal what's unique about a team. So I believe this
Exactly.
is, because I work a lot with teams, executive teams, and I believe this has been less research, in terms of, how you, I mean, um, as coaches, we are fostering really the team building, the connection, and then the energy for sure. Now, to reach high performance, now to really express clearly what is the genius zone of the team. I think it's an interesting approach to.
Exactly. Yeah, and so the genius zones of the team, and also the members within the team, because immediately once we barter tasks between us, immediately we spend much more time in our genius zones. And this is visible within the team, but very quickly it's visible outside of the team as well. Very quickly we'll get feedback on this, and actually people start asking, what's going on here? There's something special. I don't know what you're doing, but I can see the outcomes of that. That I hear over and over again, for us personally, but also, of course, for teams implementing this.
I will be very interested to follow up on this topic, André, because
we should do another podcast.
On this. I think that's really because I work a lot into revealing the brand, internal and external, to an organization. And I think getting the clarity about what as I said, what makes this team unique in terms of energy, or that could be really interesting. So let's see. So for
definitely,
who are listening, we are we are always as entrepreneurs, coaches, we always have ideas coming by talking. So,
pivoting, trying. I love it.
Okay, so you just witness one. Okay, so one idea.
I love it. Live, I love it.
For those who are interested to participate in this, exploration and put that in place, or be the first early adopters of this, just send me an email or write in the comments here, and I will make sure I include you in this discussion.
Definitely.
Okay, so we still have a few minutes together. So we started a new year with a lot of hope for a good positive change. Means like, yes, COVID is gone. So what are your goals for this year, André?
So that's a very good point. I see COVID actually as an accelerator. So people that were, let's say, on a little difficult track, often that difficulty increases. People that had connected to who they are and what they really bought, I see actually acceleration in their businesses and the new world. I can give this example. Dying empires, it's never the time to stick around. Rome in 250 after Jesus Christ, barbarians at the gate, people dying of hunger in the city. If you can leave, leave. So the beauty of today is we can decide to leave a world that doesn't match what we want. It can be personal, it can be where we live, it can be the work we're at, it can be the reason for which we get up in the morning, it can be the partner we're with, and these things. Now is the time to change them, to build a solid base, to be able to move forward in 2022. So my goals for 2022 are to be able to co-create this new world that I'm seeing on a daily basis. I meet people that are in this new world. It's not a utopia. I meet people, I co-create that new world. We co-create that new world in every single one of our workshops. And in every single one of our workshops, actually, people meet outside of the workshops we have to be able to co-create businesses, to explore working together. Because once you see somebody through their genius zones, you know what you can really do with that person. It works for interviews, it works in the workplace for promotions, for getting new lateral moves. It also works for co-creating businesses. And so I want to be able to co-create more and more a new world with others. Actually, I put a sticker on my mirror in the bathroom. How can I help more people today than what I did yesterday? That's my goal for this year. How can I reach out to more people? How can I meet more people? How can we co-create something even more together? Because that's where the power is. And once I see job openings with demonstrated genius zone in X rather than proof track a record of zones of excellence, basically, that I know something's happening. That really, really makes my day.
Wonderful, and I feel really aligned with what you say. I really like to be in natural co-creation, and also I really believe in growing together, right? So we learn from each other, we have this open discussion, ideas are coming, we are starting collaboration, we are supporting each other. So and you invited me also to facilitate, this community, something that I really is part also of my zone of excellence. So I'm really happy thinking about that. So yeah, if you want to join us, be part of this co-creation of the future, because I agree with you. I mean, we have a lot of opportunity to build on what all recently happened to create something positive for the future, impactful. So yeah, so that's great. And maybe a final message for the audience, like wrapping up on all our discussion.
So as a quick summary, so guys, however you do it, I don't care, but please, 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 I beg you, differentiate your 4 levels of competency. Don't get stuck in your what's called level of excellence, where it will actually drain your energy, but go towards your level of genius and figure out what that is. Then find a way to spend more time in there. Measure it, however you do it. Measure the time you spend in your level of genius. We attain what we measure. And then find also a way to overcome, your beliefs that this is not for you, this is cool for other people, but actually, I'm stuck here. Since the day we started school, we have cours d'appui, lessons and extra lessons on things we're not good at. No, guys, figure out what you're really good at and then concentrate on that. The other stuff, give it to somebody else. Every task is somebody else's genius zone, huh? Nothing, you should not do anything because you believe that it's not somebody else's genius zone. It has to be done. The second you say it has to be done, therefore I need to do it, no, it will be somebody else's genius zone. I've yet to meet a single person that does not have a genius zone. If you believe you don't have one, by the way, contact me. This is okay. But also every single task is a genius zone of somebody, even those that we don't think would be interesting at all for us or even for anybody. They are a genius zone of somebody. The only question is aligning those two so that they match.
Yeah.
And So connect on LinkedIn. Let's co-create this future. Let's move forward and implement this as much as we can. You can go to geniuslife.me, stay in touch with Christine, stay in touch with myself. I'm very much looking forward to living this. So
that's great. That's great. So yes, absolutely. So that's why, communities are very important because, we all have our specific talent and we need others around to express their talent and to combine all of this so that we can move forward with our projects. So great. And we often say in coaching that if you don't have the same level of energy at the end of the day compared to the beginning of the day, there is a problem. Sharing that as well, because often people say, I'm at the end of the day I'm so tired. So this is really a place to stop and reflect and say what's going on. Because if you if you were in your zone of excellence, then you enjoy. It's like being in vacation, and then things are flowing, and so wonderful. So I want also to emphasize that you can join us. I mean, maybe we will have other lives together, André. I don't know, but I am engaged in sharing with you every Tuesday morning at 8:30. I share my life. I share my life as a coach, right? So I'm sharing, lessons learned from me or, what happened during this week and tips for you to feel better and to have the success you deserve. So you can join and join the discussion there. If you want to be featured in my lives, please reach to me. So we will have, next. I will have the next interview with John Baldoni, a very well-known coach and member of the Association of Corporate Executive Coaches on the February 21st at 6 p.m. So you may want also to put that in your calendar. If you want to know more about what's going on in the association of the coaches and what I'm doing, you can also reach to me at christine@billycoaching.com or on my website. I'm looking forward to your ideas, your comments on these lives, these interviews. As I said, I really enjoy it, really, because it's for me, and I hope for you all, also a great way to start the day, to get a lot of energy. And for sure, let me know how we could improve that, how we could have even more impact doing that. So thank you so much, André, for being there this morning. It was really nice. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for all of you who were online. You can access the recording of all the lives for sure on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube. And I hope you have a great day, and we'll see each other very soon. Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Spend time in your Venus zones. Thanks,
Yes,
Christine.
forget about that. Absolutely.